This is Hot Mike.
Hot Mike.
On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 on this Football Friday, ready to rock and roll. Don't forget, we got our Stone Cold picks with my dad coming up before we wrap up the show on this Friday morning. I mentioned off the top, it's a Friday in January. It goes without saying there's plenty going on, and that is certainly the case tonight. There's going to be some dynamite basketball games over. We're televising a couple tonight. On the girls' side, just get to Horace tonight because it's maybe the game of the year already in North Dakota girls basketball. Davies and Horace set to face off against one another. They have combined for 15 wins and no losses in the EDC. Combined, they've only lost twice all season long. Our pleasure to welcome back Horace girls basketball head coach Brent Hintz to the show on this Friday. I say that there's nothing else to tee it up, right? That's the pregame speech to the team, right?
Yeah, I guess we're done. Thanks for having me on. And no, but you're right. And this is why you play, right? It's a lot of fun. And, Davies, although they're still in the grand scheme of things, a fairly young school, they have a pretty impressive, tradition of success and winning. And obviously winning a state championship last year. They have several kids on their roster this year that have a state championship plaque hanging in their bedroom. So, I mean, they found out what it takes to do that, and they have a lot of pride, and they play really hard. They have a really good team again this year. They have some really skilled players, and it should be a lot of fun tonight.
So you mentioned that. That's a great point. That state championship pedigree, just the knowing what it takes to win, you guys you're still figuring that out. How big a deal is that to overcome in a game like this tonight?
Well, I think I use a statement a lot, whether I heard it somewhere or I made it up or it's a combination of both probably. But, the only people who think experience doesn't matter are those that don't have it. Mm-hmm. And, once you have it, you realize how valuable it is. And so I think it calms the nerves. I think it breeds confidence. And I think it just it gets you in the right mindset to play. So we're going to have to play well tonight. They got a heck of a team over there, and we're just looking forward to the challenge and the opportunity.
10-1, Brent, 8-0. I mean, on the outside, I think we talked late last year, heck, over the summer. Everybody knew, hey, the talent you have, everyone expects you to be good. It's another thing to actually go and do it. What has impressed you about how your team has played so far this year?
I just, while we didn't graduate anyone last season, we still had some turnover and change in the roster, that just naturally happens a little bit. So to say our roster last season and this season are exactly the same would not be accurate. We have some young freshmen up with us in practice every day who have been awesome. They've been, just a great addition to our team. But I love the energy. I just love the energy. We have so much energy. We honestly have not really had a bad practice this season so far, which is hard to say, but it is true. We just played with a lot of enthusiasm. The girls, really came together and were pretty tight last year, but I feel like our culture and our chemistry is even built on that. And while we are still a work in progress and we're still trying to get to where we think we can get to as far as our potential as a team, we've seen a lot more good than concerning things. And when we play the game the way we're supposed to play and we play together and we play the right way, it's pretty fun to watch.
What did you have to, or how did you address the team heading into the season, knowing A, expectations are higher, B, knowing the kind of talent that everybody maybe most nights expects you to win? How did you deal with that with the girls before the season began?
No, we were pretty honest about it, actually. And I mean, some of the kids talked about it over the summer and their families and stuff. Last season we were this young team who I think people talked about a bit, but they didn't really expect maybe a lot out of, or maybe we were an unknown. And so we got to just kind of just ride that fun wave of just, we're that team who comes in. Nobody really expects anything of us. Yeah, we're playing well, but everybody's just wondering, can we keep it up? And we're just having a blast playing basketball and just, playing a game. And we were able to pretty much do that just about all of last season. And we talked about how this year it's going to be a little different. Teams are going to, people are going to expect things of us. We're going to be maybe a lot of teams, big games, they're going to get up for us, a target on our back, all that cliche stuff. But also just the thought of, the expectation and trying to manage that, and understanding that, if we can control the expectation in our locker room, so to speak, and block out the outside noise, and if we win by 20, somebody's going to say they should have won by 30, or whatever type thing. And at the end of the day, if we can be the determination of our success, then that can help handle that a lot. And they've handled it terrific. They've just embraced it. We've talked a lot about how expectations means you're pretty good, and you'd rather be good than be a team that nobody expects anything of. And so I think it's been something we've actually embraced and really just taken on, and just and after the first couple days of the season, just having an open conversation about, we've kind of not brought it up again. We just kind of go day by day.
The run late last year, especially to get to the EDC championship game, did that, not to say change expectations, but maybe talk about, okay, we're firmly on everybody's radar now after what happened late last year?
Yeah, I think so. I think it maybe solidified what people were wondering and talking about, like, okay, they got some talent. Okay, can they be good? Can they put it together? Can they, all mesh and bring it together to play to their potential? And I think that kind of solidified what people were wondering about us, maybe, that, yeah, okay, we when we play the way we need to play, we're pretty good.
I feel like I've been talking about Jaden Hale for about 5 years, but her high school career is coming to an end. She's already obviously signed. She's going to go play Division I basketball at Gonzaga. Where have you seen, Brent, her game change this season, become even more of a leader for you this year?
She has, as great of a season as she had last year, I feel like she's taken. I apologize. I just feel like it's PA announcement day at our school. It's been, we talked before we came on the air. It's just been one long list of, I don't know what all these kids did, but man, there's 3 long lists of students coming in. Hopefully it's celebration stuff. So, but she's taken her game to another level this year. Just from a standpoint of the little things that she's really gotten better at, and just her mindset and her preparation, and which was so good last year, but she's taken it to another level. I mean, not to get so deep into it, but she prepares. She understands and knows the scouting report. Her nutrition is so good. I wish I was that disciplined to have that kind of nutrition, but she fuels her body so well, and she's become an even better leader than she was last year. She's just such a calming influence for all our kids, but yet she also has just kind of a barometer on when it's time to fire up a little bit, and maybe bring a little extra fire to the team, and things like that. And so she's obviously a big part of what we do. She's certainly not the only player on this team, but she definitely is our senior, who just that we can pretty much know what to expect from her every night. And that brings a lot of confidence, because we kind of know she's going to get this.
Yeah.
We just need to figure out where we're getting the rest.
How's she handled the added attention that comes with A, being a Division I player, and B, being really good? How do you feel like she's handled that, especially over the last year and a half?
I think she's handled it so well. She's mature beyond her years. I think we're really fortunate. We have an amazing group of kids, and they are so much fun. They're terrific families, terrific kids. They are so good for each other. They build each other up. They hold each other accountable, but they're so positive with each other. I think she's handled it so well. She's been such a good model, because we have some younger kids who are also getting some college attention. Yeah. I also think that's helped her, because she's not the only kid on this team that is getting that kind of attention. And so I think it helps that spotlight not be just directly on her all the time, which I think has been helpful for her. But she's handled it so well. She understands that Gonzaga University is waiting for her, in the summer. But she has done such a great job of putting her focus on this year, and she's made it very clear to her teammates that her sole focus is this season, this team, and trying to accomplish something really special.
Well, I got to talk about two of the other studs as well because we've had them on the show. Lakin Donnelly's another. She's averaging 20. She's a freshman again, but she's played 2 years of varsity basketball as well. So does it feel like she's a junior even though she's only a freshman? Does that make sense when I ask you that?
Oh, absolutely. I have to remind myself a lot of days that she's only a freshman. I mean, we had somebody speak with the team virtually on Tuesday and do a team activity. And at the end, she was actually kind of razzing Jaden a little bit. And she had this moment where she's sitting in her chair, Lakin, and she's got this smile on her face. And I just start laughing. And I said, it's moments like this where you remind me that you're a freshman. And I mean that as a complete and total compliment, because I said, you are a freshman. You're supposed to have moments like that where you're just being a little kid, because you need to be yourself. And I said, it helps me remember that you're still a freshman. And while we have high expectations of her and we demand a lot of things of her, it's okay to be reminded every once in a while that this kid's in the high school building going to school every day for the first time this year.
Yeah. when you say that, I shake my head. I'm like, because we've seen her play varsity ball for 2.5 years, and yet she just got to high school. It's just wild.
I know.
And already has Division I offers, as does Jordan Christofferson. What has she brought to what's different about her game than the other two I just mentioned?
Jordan has she has such an energy about her. She plays so hard all the time on both ends of the floor. Like her teammates, she's a perfectionist, but she always sees the positive in everything. She is, she's the kid that quite honestly doesn't get talked about probably as much as she should because, Jaden gets a lot of attention and understandably so. Lakin gets a lot of attention and understandably so. I think people sometimes forget about Jordan. We certainly don't because we know how important she is to our team. A lot of teams have two really good players on their team. Not everybody gets to say they have a third really, really good player on their team. And she helps take pressure off of those other two because she is a kid who rebounds. She defends at a high level, but she scores at a high level, and she can score in the lane. She can hit threes. She's definitely that, multi-dimensional positionalist type basketball player that everybody likes to talk about nowadays who can just do so many things. And she's a kid who is so willing on a given night to see what the team needs and then provide that. And she doesn't worry too much about anything except what the score is at the end. And if we win, she's as happy as anybody else in that locker room.
Couple minutes left here with Brent Hintz. I guess this might seem a superfluous question, but when you have that kind of talent, the pressure's going to fall on you. I'm like, okay, well, you got to win. You have 3 Division I players. How do you handle that?
I just try to enjoy it. I honestly try not to think about it. Does it ever cross my mind? Absolutely. I just try to, as a coaching staff, like any coaching staff, we try to create an environment that is conducive to kids being at their best, enjoying, having fun. We have a group that when they're having fun, they play better. When they're loose, they play better. But yet they know when it's time to lock in and be competitive. But I'm just trying to enjoy it, to be honest with you. I've coached long enough now to know that you don't always get this lucky to have a roster like this. And I'm just trying to make the most of it as far as just enjoy being with them every day, enjoy coaching them, and just enjoy getting to do some things and try some things you don't always get to do or try because these kids can do it. They can handle it. Not only are they good players, they have high basketball IQs. And so it's just, they've been so much fun. They've been great for me. They really have. They've just been a blast.
You and I were talking about this off air. The level of talent right now in girls hoops in North Dakota, I've been on this for a while, that it's outrageous. Not only your team, Riley Sievert from Shanley has already got a couple offers, and she's, I think, a freshman. Marley Falcon out of Bismarck Legacy. Brent, why the jump? You see it every day. What has happened in the last couple of years where now girls basketball in North Dakota is getting Power 4 schools to come in to recruit now?
It's amazing and it's fun. You pretty much have division. People used to say years ago, Division I prospect, but you're like, okay, but it's legit now. Like every night, there are games all over the state that have Division I potential players playing on it, and it's raised the level of basketball. And I think they've all helped each other, because I think they all make each other better, because you're playing against really good competition and really good talent every night, and that makes you better. I think the growth of women's sports and the growth of women's basketball has helped immensely, because you're seeing it more out there. You're seeing it on ESPN. You're seeing it on TV. There's games. These kids are able to watch players that they can relate to, and that inspires them. I think that's part of it. I think the growth of AAU has helped, because it's gotten bigger. We've gotten bigger AAU programs in the state, and also, teams out of the cities like North Tartan has reached out to North Dakota kids, because they're seeing that we have talented players that can help them. And so I think that's been a win-win. They've gotten the opportunity to go play against high-level EYBL type competition, which only makes them better, which is obviously also giving them exposure. And so I think, it's a lot of different things that have come together, and it's just really fun to see, because being a longtime girls basketball coach, getting the opportunity to see them get their chance to shine and get the attention is something we've hoped for them for a long time. And so for them to get that, it's just super gratifying. Well, it's just awesome to
later
see.
Today, LSU and South Carolina are playing at 4:00 today on ESPN. I'm watching that, and there's going to be a lot of other people watching that. That doesn't, that's another reason why what's going on. And tomorrow can't be discounted either. There's going to be a ton of North Dakota talent playing at the Shack with NDSU and UND. That can't hurt either.
No, it can. Our kids are going to be there, because they're excited to watch NDSU and UND, and that rivalry is back, which is so cool. And it just makes everything in our state better too, because it gives kids a reason to dream and to believe. So it's terrific stuff. All
right, before we got to get you out of here before there's any more announcements that come on. I appreciate the time, man. Good luck tonight. We'll talk again soon, okay?
Hey, I appreciate you giving me the chance to come on here and talk about our kids. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thanks, Brent. Brent Hintz, head coach of the Horace girls. Again, showdown tonight, south side of West Fargo, as they'll host Fargo Davies. It's crazy to think, 10 years ago, there's nothing out there. But tonight you got a dynamite girls basketball matchup. And that's not to discount the talent that's on Davies' roster, which is really, really good. Fallon Pasanante's really, really good. But that Horace team, and we've had all three of those girls on. Jaden's been on a couple times. We had both Christofferson and Lakin Donnelly on this summer when their offers started to heat up. And again, Lakin's a freshman, Jordan's a sophomore, and then Jaden is a senior bound for Division I hoops in Gonzaga. It's cool stuff to see. Maybe we shouldn't be as blown away by it as we are. I'll say as I am, but because it's happening more, but it's still pretty darn cool. Again, we're talking to a guy, Luke Starcevic, who's just a sophomore in high school. Those are two that are freshmen and sophomores that are getting this kind of attention, all playing in their own backyard. It's pretty good stuff. We're overdue for a break. We'll take it here, get caught up on a couple things. I got a message from my guy, Kyan Brown. We need to read that. Much more when Hot Mike returns on this Friday morning. We're back after this.